Okay, we will now go to our next committee, which is Finance and Personnel, chaired by Pinky Vargas.
Thank you, Gene. We have one item in front of us today. We're discussing the ordinance regarding a tax exemption for venues featuring paid live music in the downtown and Fairhaven entertainment districts. This is an ordinance regarding a tax exemption for music venues featuring paid live music, and for the conversation of the ordinance, I'm going to pass this over to Terry Borneman, who's going to explain.
Thank you, Pinky. Yes, this ordinance is one we've discussed previously. It's currently music venues are paying a 5% tax on all tickets in the venues. We patterned this particular ordinance after Seattle's exemption. They have the same type of exemption as this, and most of the wording we've used pretty much straight from the Seattle model. The purpose of this is to help support clubs that have live music and pay musicians in our downtown, to get more people, more musicians paid, and help club owners be able to bring in bigger acts and hopefully bigger revenues as well with it. We've had a public hearing related to the budget part of this, and we passed the budget elements of this, and this is just the ordinance following up our discussions on the budget amounts for this. Those that would be eligible for this exemption would be based on, would have to get a certificate of exemption from the finance office and comply with certain elements. The basic elements of it is that the premise or location is within the Bellingham's downtown entertainment district or Fairhaven's entertainment district. The premise or location has a certificate of occupancy of fewer than 600 persons. The person conducting or operating the premise or location, or any other persons authorized by such persons, hosts or presents paid live music on at least 3 separate days per calendar week at the premise or location on average per quarter. And the premise or location is current with all license and tax requirements. It goes on to state, the other elements of it in terms of what it means to be current with all license and tax requirements and in good standing with the law. That's the basic parts of this, and brought it forward hopefully for passage.
I was remiss in saying who my fellow council members are on this committee, and that's Lillquist and Hamill. And Dan, you have a question?
A couple of questions. One, is there a sales tax that's associated with these ticket sales as well? Is that?
That I don't know. If there's a sales tax as well, I don't know that.
There's a B&O tax that would be assessed to these business owners, but I'm just wondering if that's
there's
that
B&O,
ticket.
There's sales tax on the products provided inside, the liquor sales, other sales. So as people come in and buy food, buy drinks, then the sales tax part kicks in.
Okay. And I'm wondering if there's been any research done as it relates to other associated economic activity in terms of additional lodging, food sales for presumably some of these acts would attract out-of-town visitors.
Very much. Yeah, I don't know about. There's anecdotal evidence of that, but specific research I can't cite. We have some of the club owners report when they do have bigger names come into town. We draw a lot of participants from Canada, from other areas. When they stay late, they get motel rooms, they purchase food and other stuff at other restaurants. Recently, the Wild Buffalo had a concert like that sold out, and they were able to document quite a few of the people coming to the concert were from out of the area, and so that does help generate more activity, more money into the downtown and into the hotel motel part of things.
Michael and then Dan.
First, Terry, I want to compliment you and whoever you worked with. I think it's a well-written ordinance. I mean, it seems to set the right amount of controls and stuff, defines things really well, and I have no doubt it'll benefit live music venues and maybe bring more acts to town. Mine is really the larger question. There's a lot of worthwhile businesses and business sectors. Why are we singling this one out? For a while, I've talked about the city just simply changing the exemption level across the board for B&O taxes. So the gross proceed level kicks in at a higher level, and that enables all smaller businesses to benefit with a tax break. I mean, I have a hard time picking out why this worthwhile industry compared to other also worthwhile industries.
I can tell you that because a number of club owners did a very good job of lobbying me and presenting their case of why this made sense for our downtown. And since they did that, I was willing to bring it forward. We were looking at doing this previously, but it is another one of these elements. We're trying to generate activities in our downtown, in our core. And this is one more element of how to get more people and keep the downtown vibrant. We have done other work in the past regarding the music ordinance and stuff to help with club, to get music down there. And right now we have a very vibrant and are working on a very vibrant music scene that's being recognized from other parts of the country with this. It draws people here, and that's why I'm willing to I was willing to bring this forward.
Dan?
Just under the fiscal impact here, I'm just unclear as to how this is going to happen. So it says the decrease in general fund is offset by a corresponding increase from franchise fee collection. I don't understand what that means.
PEG.
That's PEG.
So Brian Henshaw, Finance Department. The impact to the general fund is a reduction in revenue, and that's estimated to be $20,000. The information provided there was we are changing the allocation, so that is bringing more money into the general fund. That's an offset, but it doesn't replace it. I mean, the general fund will be worse off than we would be without this. It's a credit. It's a tax credit, so there's a reduction to revenue.
Is 20,000 a best guess as to what this?
Correct, because there's a number of criteria that they have to meet, but that's based on current activity in the downtown music area. That's how much has been approximately generated, so we just annualize that.
And about how many businesses or clubs would this represent?
Well, there's at least 3 that we know of that would qualify if they meet all those criteria.
Thanks.
And there's a couple others that could if they go in that direction of increasing to at least 3.
Well, for me personally, I'm really supportive of this ordinance. I think one of the things that makes Bellingham special is the fact that we still have live music venues, and that's getting to be a much more rare thing throughout the country, and I think it's part of our culture that we should hold on to. And if there's a way that we can support and encourage and have that kind of environment, it definitely, I think, is a tourist draw, and it's part of what makes Bellingham special. So personally, I'm going to support this. And with that, I'd support a motion. Oh, sorry, Mayor?
on Brian to answer the sales tax.
Okay.
So earlier you asked if the sales tax applied. Sales tax does not apply to this. This is a tax, 5% on ticket sales only. B&O tax and sales tax would be charged on other things that happen at the event. But most of this is not sales taxable because it's liquor sales, and liquor sales are taxed through liquor taxes, and that's a whole other one. So you really have 4 different taxes that could be in play here on this, but there's no sales tax or B&O tax applied to this.
Well, I'm going to move to approve this ordinance as it's written. I'm very much in support of this.
Any other comments or questions? No? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
And the motion has a mixed recommendation of 2 to 1. End of committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bring that forward tonight. We'll take a 1-minute break, then we'll go on to Lake Whatcom Reservoir and Natural Resources.